Hey guys, it's me, Cali. Today I'm going to share with you the recipe that I came up with for my homemade veggie bean soup with bowtie pastas. It's 100% vegan and 100% delicious. And if this looks like something you'd be interested in checking out how I made it, I would love it if you stick around and I'll show you how I did it. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I'm using today. Feel free to substitute whatever you have on hand. I literally just grabbed things out of my pantry. So the first thing that I have is about 2 cups of some homemade vegetable stock. This is super concentrated, so I am going to be adding extra water to our soup. But I make this out of, scraps and peelings. I save them all in a bag. I keep it in my freezer, and when this bag gets full, I'll add water to it, and it turns into vegetable broth. So some kind of broth, or just use water and bouillon cubes if you want. First we'll be sauteing some shallots and onions. Just grabbed a couple. I also have a head of garlic. I'll probably use this whole thing. And then I have some celery. I don't measure anything, so just some. Here's a few carrots. I have a couple of potatoes. I'll probably throw in some frozen peas. I also have some bowtie pasta. I'm going to use a little bit can of chickpeas, some pink beans, dark red kidney beans, a can of crushed tomatoes. I have some lentils and some split peas. So you can see this is going to be a really hearty soup. And as far as seasonings go, I'm going to keep it really simple. I have some sea salt, fresh black pepper. I have some homegrown oregano, some homegrown basil, maybe a little bit of rosemary, and some garlic powder. So that's it. I'm going to prep all our veggies, and I'll meet you back at the stove. Okay, let's prep everything so it's ready to throw in the pot when we're ready to cook. And I'm going to start with the garlic, which I'm going to mince in my garlic press. But first I want to share with you a tip that I saw recently on Dave Hack's channel here on YouTube. So he just broke up a head of garlic. And there's a few cloves here, and this is an easy way to skin your garlic. He recommended that you take a rubber jar grip lid thing, okay? And you just roll your garlic up in the rubber lid, and you're going to put some pressure on it and roll it back and forth a few times. It doesn't take a lot. You don't need a lot of hand strength for this. And sure enough, the garlic just pops right out of the skins. Okay, no more messing with it. And once I've done that, and I'll do the whole head, I'm going to take my cloves, and like I said, I have a garlic press here, and I put a few in at a time. Actually, I could get all 4 of those in there, and we just press it. Okay. So I'll finish this up, and I'll be back with some shallots and onions. Okay, so here's a whole head of garlic, and let's move on to the shallots. I don't always use shallots, but I happen to have them, so I thought I would use them. And I'll show you how I'm going to cut them. So there's a bulb end here. We're not going to cut that. I'm just going to cut off this part. And then we're going to cut them right in half. Just like that. Okay. And then peel off the skin. Where's my jar lid? Here, let's try it. Look at that. It works for shallots too. I have a little bowl here that I'm holding all my peelings in. As you can see, onion skins, garlic skins, all that stuff makes great broth. Okay, so we have this end here. I'm going to set that down, and I'm just going to very carefully, see how I can let you guys see this, slice through. Watch your fingers. Hope you could see what I'm doing. Okay, I didn't slice all the way through there, and then I'm going to cut through here across very carefully, almost to the end, and then we're just going to mince it. Okay, there you have it. So I'm going to finish up that. I think I have about 4 shallots, and then we'll move on to the onions. Here's all our shallots cut up, and now we have actually 2 onions, but I'll show you how I'm going to do this. I'm sure you guys all know how to cut an onion, but I'm just going to cut off both ends. How do you cut your onions? And then I'm going to just cut it right down the middle. And peel it. I'm not going to use my thing this time. Okay. And then I'm just going to cut parallel here. So almost all the way through to the bottom, but not quite. I'm keeping it together. Kind of arch over, hold it together. All right. And then I'm just going to take this about that much in half. And then we're going to just cut through it. Now, if you want a smaller dice, you can, you could do it however you want. You could use a food processor. I really like to cook, and this whole act of chopping and preparing everything is very meditative to me. So if you're not happy with how small it is, you can kind of dice them up even further. But these will cook down. We're going to let our soup cook a long time today. So, yeah, there you go. I'm going to chop up the other one, and I'll see you back here, and we'll wash our veggies. Okay, so here's our celery and carrots and potatoes, and I'm just giving them all a good scrub. I'm not going to peel anything. When I'm done with these, I'll see you back at the cutting board. We're just going to do a rough chop on everything. All right, let's start with the celery. This is all basic stuff, but I figure someone will want to see it. I'm just going to slice it down the middle. Okay? And we're just going to chop it just like that. All right. Pretty simple. So there you have it. And next we'll do the carrots. So I'm just going to chop off the end here. And you can make these as big or as little as you want, you guys, but I'm going to cut it in half. And then half again. And depending on how big the carrot is, you could even go half again. All right. And then I'm just going to take those. And there we go. La 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 la. All right, I'll finish these up. Again, I had about 3 large carrots, I would say. Use however many you want. Be back with the potatoes. So here's our carrots, and next we'll do the potatoes. I've already started, and I have a bowl of ice water here. If you are going to wait to use your potatoes, you want to put them in some ice water so they don't oxidize and turn black. So we're just going to cut this in half. All right. And same thing, I'm just going to make slices. All right. I'll take a few of those, Stack them on top of each other. Cut through again. And then just do small dice. Okay. I'll finish up with that. And then we'll move on to our beans. We've got to rinse them all. So now we're going to rinse our beans. And this is about a half a cup of dried split peas. And same thing with the lentils. And we're just going to rinse through these good. Make sure there's no stones or anything. And I've opened up my cans of beans. So I'm just going to dump in right on top. And I have the chickpeas. You guys can see this stuff all right. And our kidney beans. Okay, that's quite a bean mixture. I'm going to continue rinsing until I don't see any more foam. Okay, now we're about ready to get started. I'm going to heat up our pot and with a couple tablespoons of olive oil, and I'll see you over at the stove. Okay, let's get started. I've heated up our pot. It's pretty big. I always cook for an army. And I'm just going to take a couple tablespoons of some olive oil. You can use coconut oil. You could use whatever you want. Just so our veggies don't stick to the bottom of the pan. So about 1.5 tablespoons or so. And we're just going to add, let's add our shallots. Our onion. Oh, you guys know that smell alone is perfume. Okay, and let's add our celery too. Our carrots. Boy, that's a lot of carrots, but I'm gonna go for it. Okay, and because we have so much in there, I'm just going to put our garlic in with this right now. It's not in any danger of burning or anything. If I didn't have so many vegetables, I might wait, but I think I'm just going to add it all in now. And we're just going to let this saute for, I don't know, there's a lot of veggies, so probably at least 10 minutes. You want everything to soften up nicely. And I am going to add just a pinch of the sea salt, as well as some ground pepper. I like to season as I go. Little goes a long way. You can, if you're on a low sodium diet, omit the salt. But I like to kind of season throughout the cooking process. Some fresh ground black pepper. All right. So we're just going to let this go, and I'll see you back here in about 10 minutes, okay? Okay, it's been about 10 minutes, and I did wind up putting a lid on it just to help steam it along a little bit. So this is what we're looking at. Oh, yeah. Now we're going to add everything else, you guys, with the exception of the pasta. And we'll put that in when the soup is just about done. So I have our vegetable stock. Super concentrated. Very garlicky, knowing me. Have some extra water here. It's about 4 cups. And if I need to add more, because the lentils and the split peas and everything, I'll add it as we go along. I have a can of the crushed tomatoes. Put that whole thing right in there. Our frozen peas, which you can also add at the end with the pasta, but I like them to break down. It adds to the consistency of the soup. So either or. And I have all of our beans, which is a lot. The good thing is this soup will freeze well. So, and like all soups or stews, they always taste better the next day. But this will be amazing. And I have our potatoes, which I've drained. I'll get those in there too. Let's see how much water we have here. Oh yeah, this is going to be amazing. All right. Now I'm going to bring this up to a boil. So we'll turn up the heat. And once it boils, then I'm going to turn it all the way down to a simmer. And I want to say this is going to cook for at least an hour, but I'm probably going to let it go a few hours. And this recipe you absolutely could do in a crock pot. I would just recommend doing the onions and celery and garlic first, but you could just throw everything in a crock pot and leave it all day. So we're going to season again. I normally don't, I keep saying I don't measure, but I normally really don't. But I want to give you an idea. So I have some garlic powder here. Let's say there's half a teaspoon. There's a full teaspoon. And I'll taste this as it's cooking and adjust as I go along. So we're going to do some more black pepper. Let's do some rosemary. I have some homegrown here. Just going to crumple some up. Try to avoid the twigs. Again, season as we go along. Oh, that smells amazing. Some oregano. Same thing. Maybe 2 teaspoons. And some basil. If I had thyme, I would probably add some thyme. And a little more of the sea salt. How about a teaspoon of that as well? As you can see, it's already starting to want to come to a boil. That tomato sauce really helps that along. Okay, so we'll let it boil. Then I'll turn it down, put the top on it, and like I said, I'll see you, in a few hours, but see when it's boiling. Okay, this is boiling away, and I have to tell you, I did add another 2 cups of water. I could tell this is going to be thickened up already, and it looks really good. It already smells great. So I'm going to put a lid on this. We're going to turn the heat way down, and I'll see you back here about 10 minutes before it's ready, and we'll put our pasta in. Okay, so it's been about 2 hours, and this has been cooking away here. I did add a little bit more water. It got pretty thick. So, and I added a little bit more seasoning, just to taste. And I think at this point, it's time to put our macaroni in. You can use any kind, elbows or whatever. I just happen to have these in my pantry, and so that's what I'm going to use. And there's about a cup of these. This is like a bow tie shaped pasta. Okay. So they would normally take between 6 to 8 minutes to cook. So I'll just let them cook, and I'll see you back here, and then I'll plate it up. It's been about 8 minutes or so, and I think we're done here. Like I said before, this will only get better with time. I'll definitely be eating this for the rest of the week. I'll plate it up, and I'll show you what we got. And I hope this inspires you to make some soup yourself. So I'll see you in just a minute. Okay, I'm going to ladle some of this out. And you could serve this with a salad and some bread, whatever you would normally have with your soup. Can't wait to try this. I'm going to use some of this Go Veggie Cheesy Bliss vegan cheese. You could use some nutritional yeast if you'd like, just as a little bit of garnish. And that's it, you guys. So I hope you enjoy this. I'm sure it's amazing. Well, you guys know I have to try a bite with you, right? Can't just talk about it. Oh my God. I can't wait to try it. Oh, that's perfect. I wouldn't add anything else to it. The potatoes are nice and soft. Like I said, this will get even better tomorrow, but perfect blend of seasonings. All the veggies taste amazing. It's nice and thick. This totally reminds me of minestrone soup, especially with the cheese on top. This is definitely excellent. I highly recommend it. I hope you guys give it a try. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon, okay? Take care. Love you.